Have you noticed how the world feels different lately? It's not just the news or the chaos on social media. It's something deeper, something that hums beneath the surface of reality. Many can't explain it, but they feel it. A strange silence before the storm, a shift in the air, like the universe is holding its breath. Today's message isn't about fear. It's about revelation, about one of the oldest and most mysterious prophecies ever whispered across generations, the 3 days of darkness. But before we talk about the prophecy itself, we need to understand why so many souls, especially the awakened ones, are already sensing that something is about to unfold before the world even notices. If you're watching this, it's not by coincidence. You were guided here for a reason, so stay until the end, and while you do, tell me in the comments if you've been feeling strange energies around you lately. And type your declaration of faith. I am ready for the awakening. There's a silence spreading across the earth, not the quiet of peace, but the silence that comes before great transformation. The chosen ones can feel it in their bones. They sense the imbalance in human emotion, the weariness of the planet, the exhaustion of the collective spirit. They don't need a sign in the sky to know something is coming. The call is already echoing within them. Look around. The weather grows unstable, the skies look unfamiliar, and people seem increasingly lost in emotional storms. All of it is part of a larger divine rhythm, the pause before revelation, the stillness before the sound of the trumpets. When the universe prepares for a great shift, everything slows down. Reality feels suspended. That's when the sacred energy begins to move quietly, invisibly rearranging the stage for what's next. It's like creation itself is inhaling before releasing a roar that awakens sleeping souls. Many of the chosen ones feel disconnected right now. They avoid crowds, lose sleep, have vivid dreams, or experience unexplainable pain in their bodies. Don't be alarmed. This is spiritual calibration, the process of aligning your inner frequency with what is about to be revealed. Ancient prophecies spoke of a time when the light of the sun would disappear and the earth would be covered in darkness for 3 days. Trumpets would echo from the heavens, and silence would fall upon the world. But few realize this darkness begins long before it manifests in the sky. It starts within. Before the outer world falls silent, the soul must face its own stillness. Before the physical darkness comes the spiritual one. The chosen are being refined right now, like divine instruments being tuned before the great symphony begins. And when the trumpets finally sound, they won't just echo through the skies, they'll resonate inside every awakened heart. You might be feeling it already, an unease, an urgency, a strange acceleration of time, as if reality itself is bending. That's not your imagination. It's the vibration of a world in transition, and those attuned to spirit are the first to sense the impact. So if lately you felt a heavy silence or a pull you can't explain, maybe it's not anxiety. Maybe it's the whisper of what's coming. Prophecies about the 3 days of darkness are ancient, older than most realize. They didn't begin with YouTube videos or online predictions. They came from visions, dreams, and divine revelations that appeared across civilizations, always carrying the same message: humanity will undergo purification. Saint Padre Pio once spoke of a time when the sun would cease to shine and spiritual forces would be unleashed upon the earth, separating light from shadow. Other mystics and hidden texts describe a similar vision, a world covered in silence and fear before its rebirth. But the real mystery isn't about the darkness itself. It's about what leads to it. Before the night falls, humanity believes it is advancing, yet it's drifting further from its soul. Technology rises while nature weakens. Knowledge multiplies while wisdom fades. Hearts grow cold as faith disappears. And when that imbalance reaches its breaking point, divine order steps in to restore equilibrium. That's when the heavens move. And that's when the chosen ones awaken to their purpose, not as spectators, but as guardians of light. They are not spared because they're special. They are preserved because they're ready to walk through the veil between the old world and the new, guided by inner faith rather than external sight. For them, the 3 days of darkness are not punishment, they are purification. A sacred reset, a time when Earth realigns with the frequency of the divine, and when the light returns, nothing will ever be the same. Many ancient timelines speak of cosmic cycles, 7, 9, or 33 years, each marking a phase of planetary cleansing. And if you observe closely, you'll see we are at the threshold right now. The old systems are collapsing, the planet trembles, and humanity is being pushed to awaken. The signs are everywhere. Time feels shorter because the vibration of Earth is rising, and as this transformation unfolds, the chosen are not to panic, but to anchor peace. When everything around you falls apart, be still. Remember, light always withdraws before it shines brighter. The darkness humanity fears is not just external, it's already happening inside hearts that have forgotten love, compassion, and faith. That's why so many feel spiritually lost, living their own symbolic 3 days of darkness, even while the sun still shines. But this darkness has a purpose. It forces the soul to look inward, to listen, to rediscover the divine spark buried beneath fear. God speaks loudest when the world is silent, and those who learn to hear in the silence will become the torchbearers of the new dawn. The chosen ones don't fear the night because they know it's the womb of rebirth, the void between the end and the beginning. In that silence, a new world starts to breathe. Some wait for the sound of heavenly trumpets breaking through the sky, but the true trumpet is a frequency, a vibration that awakens sleeping souls. The trumpets are already sounding within many hearts right now. They don't bring destruction, they bring remembrance. They announce the end of illusion and the rise of truth. That restlessness you've been feeling, that sudden urge to change everything, that's the trumpet call of the Spirit. It's not warning you, it's awakening you. The apocalypse is not the end, it's the unveiling, the moment when what was hidden becomes visible. Each trumpet symbolizes a stage of inner transformation. As the outer world trembles, the chosen ones feel peace, because they know chaos is just creation reorganizing itself. They've been trained through heartbreak, loss, and solitude for this very moment. Every tear, every silent night, prepared their souls to hold the frequency of light when fear surrounds the world. When the 3 days of darkness finally come, whether literal or symbolic, the chosen ones will not run. They will remember. They will stand in faith when others collapse in fear. Their role is not to save the world, but to keep the flame of faith alive, because that flame will be what remains when everything else fades. And even if no one sees it, the universe will feel it. So when the silence falls and the world seems to stop, close your doors, still your heart, and trust. Don't fear the darkness, because the darkness is only the moment before dawn. From my own spiritual understanding, I don't see the 3 days of darkness as a curse or a punishment. I see it as a divine moment of awakening, a period when humanity is forced to pause and face itself. I believe the darkness is not meant to destroy, but to reveal. It's a mirror showing us everything we've ignored within. To me, this prophecy speaks more about inner transformation than about outer events. The true darkness begins inside, when people lose connection with their spirit and forget the light they carry. But just as every night gives birth to a new dawn, I believe this moment of silence will also give birth to a higher consciousness. So if something like this truly happens, whether in the physical world or within our souls, I will not face it with fear, but with faith, because I know that after the silence, light always returns. In the moments to come, temptation will not appear as something obvious. It will whisper through sounds, strange presences, and invisible movements that try to confuse the senses. But those who are chosen will recognize what is real, because their hearts already know the voice of truth. Where faith resides, no shadow can enter. This is not a time to fight or to react out of fear. It is a time to be still, to pray, to listen, and to allow the silence to reveal what words cannot. Some will hear knocks, cries, and echoes that seem to come from nowhere. Yet the awakened ones will understand that these are not signs of doom, but of purification. The earth itself is cleansing, and those who remain calm in this period will rise as guardians of a new dawn. The mission of the chosen ones is not grand or theatrical. It is sacred in its simplicity. To hold faith when the world trembles, to keep love alive when everything else fades, to be the bridge between fear and hope. Many will panic and search for ways to escape, but those who remember the truth know salvation doesn't come from running. It comes from standing firm in light, even when light cannot be seen. Darkness only harms those who have forgotten who they are. During this divine silence, every soul will be tested. Those aligned with truth will not be touched, for faith will become their armor and love, their lamp. Do not fear. Fear feeds the very shadow it dreads. The chosen ones will walk through the darkness with their eyes closed, guided by an inner flame that never dies. There comes a point in the journey when the physical body becomes just a vessel, a bridge between realms. At this stage, time begins to lose meaning. The senses shift, and the soul starts to remember something ancient. The visible world begins to fade, not because life has lost its color, but because consciousness has transcended the limits of matter. Status, wealth, and approval no longer hold weight. What was invisible now feels tangible signs, synchronicities, and encounters that carry divine purpose. This passage happens quietly. You begin to sense that you no longer fully belong to this world, yet you have not completely left it either. You exist in the space between heaven and earth, where many lose themselves or awaken completely. Here, the chosen are tested by the universe itself. It asks not with words, but through vibration. Are you ready to remember who you truly are? At that point, the divine begins to teach directly. No intermediaries, no rituals, no books. Many call this ascension, but it's really a return to the essence that was always there beneath the noise of human forgetting. And then comes what some traditions call the judgment of light. But it is not a trial nor a punishment. It is the purest mirror, the one that cannot lie. The chosen do not face condemnation, they face revelation. The light doesn't accuse or forgive, it simply shows. It shows what you did when no one was watching. It reveals the intentions behind every word and the shadows behind every mask. This is the moment when truth can no longer be postponed. The soul sees itself fully divine and human, faith and fear, strength and fragility. The light burns away illusion, leaving only what is real. Many try to flee from it, hiding behind distractions, addictions, or false identities. But the light always finds them. Because this judgment isn't in the future, it begins the moment awareness awakens. The universe whispers, "Now that you see, what will you do with what you know?" From here, there is no going back. The chosen feel an invisible weight, a call to live with integrity, to act in alignment with truth. The light begins to refine them, burning away pretense until only authenticity remains. It's not punishment, it's purification. Few can face themselves without disguise, but those who can rise. They look at their reflection and declare, "I was darkness, but now I am light." And from that moment, divine power awakens within them. The chosen pass beyond ordinary consciousness and hear what few ever perceive: the call of eternity. It doesn't come as sound or vision, but as a vibration, an ancient remembrance that stirs the soul. And in that stillness, understanding blooms. They were never lost, only asleep. This awakening reveals a great truth. Every pain, every loss, every fall was a preparation for this moment. When the shadows fall over the earth and the trumpets of spirit resound, the chosen will not panic. They will remember. They will remember the promise made before birth, that the darkness is not the end, but the threshold of a new creation. When that time comes, they will shine not with physical light, but with the radiance of the soul. Their presence will bring peace where there is fear, calm where there is despair. They will stand as living proof that light has never been defeated. But the call of eternity also carries responsibility. It asks for total surrender, for trust when logic fails, and for faith when the world calls you mad. Time itself will begin to dissolve past and future, blending into one eternal moment. The chosen will start to find each other, drawn by a higher force toward a single divine purpose. They will feel that something vast is unfolding, that the cosmic clock is striking the final hour of this era. The 3 days of darkness will not be an ending, but a sacred reset. And when the first note of the celestial trumpet sounds, the veil will fall, illusion will shatter, and the truth will finally be seen, the light of the chosen shining through the dark. And in the silence that follows, eternity will speak again, not in words, but in vibration, saying, "You have answered the call. The new world begins now."